Hello and welcome to this week's State of Cybersecurity with your host, Daniela Magana. I'm also the president and founder of Covenant Security Solutions. So welcome if this is your first time, and if this is your second or third or fourth time joining us for State of Cyber, I appreciate you coming back and coming to hear what we view are the topics and items of interest in cybersecurity at the moment. So this week was a little tough because there was so much going on. We're still dealing with the fallout of the SolarWinds hack. There's a lot in terms of the administration, the present U.S. administration getting new people in to be able to help with that. So we're going to kind of hold on talking about that till they get in, and we can hopefully get a little bit more information about what happened, how it all happened, and what the bigger ramifications are. But one thing that I did see this past week that caught my eye was talking about privacy and digital human rights. So this is going to be a little bit, if you didn't get to see last week, this is going to be kind of a part two of sorts based on what I saw in this particular article. So I'm going to share something, and this article is talking about the big migration, digital migration that happened from WhatsApp to Telegram. And so I'm going to give you two quotes from the founder and owner of Telegram, where he gives his take on what happened. So on January 14th, he said, "We may be witnessing the largest digital migration in human history." And he went on to talk about additional leaders who have come onto his platform, being the Brazilian and Turkish presidents, as well as the French president Macron. And he goes on to talk about how honored he is that the political leaders, as well as numerous public organizations, rely on Telegram to combat misinformation and spread awareness about important issues in their society. And the last piece I want to share from this article is that he talks about how big this digital migration was. He says they actually right now have 500 million active users on Telegram, and that within a span of 72 hours, they had 25 million users come onto his platform. And I want to end with a quote from what they had said in this particular article, and that Durov feels that people no longer want to exchange their privacy for free service and no longer want to be held hostage by tech monopolies that seem to think they get away with anything as long as their apps have a critical mass of users. So with that, I just wanted to kind of talk about that a little bit today, because I think that the issue of privacy has been kind of building up to this moment, right? This isn't really anything per se new. Other than now we're going from this being more of a legislative piece where you look at legislations like the European Union's GDPR, or you look at legislation like we have here in the US around healthcare privacy. We have our HIPAA laws. California came out with a privacy law as well. I think those were kind of the precursors, because I think the federal agencies were hearing the groundswell that then happened as a result of people finally getting to the point that they're tired of their information being utilized, being taken, being shared in manners in which they, number one, didn't authorize, and number two, the assumptions that are being made by many software companies about what they can and can't do because this person has a free service, and because it was put into a privacy policy that might be, I don't know, anywhere from 10 to 20 to 30 to 50 pages long. And most people, including myself as a cyber person, don't necessarily always take the time to go through it. Some of us just click past it. Some of us, you know, I try to go in and at least look for red flags. I can't say that I actually read everything, because that would be an absolute falsehood. But I don't think I'm different than any other person. You look at these things and you're like, you know, I'm not going to read all this. So in that, they typically hide what they intend to do with your information and then turn around and say it's that. So I wanted to bring that up because I think that going in 2021 forward, I think it's a big deal for individual consumers that they're going to continue to demand, as they should, that there is some accountability around what happens with the data that's collected, whether it's their contacts, whether it's their pictures, whatever information is being shared on that platform. I think people are standing up and finally saying that this is not only a human right, but a digital right that they have to their privacy and to their information. And so I just wanted to share that. I think this is a big trend. It's not just what happened between WhatsApp and Telegram. You're seeing that also with what happened with Parler. You're seeing other applications that are now coming out and basically letting users know that, hey, we're not sharing your information. We're not using your information. We understand how important that is to you. And I think for companies going forward, you've got to make that your central focus, that you look at, what are we doing with information? How do we use that information? And understand that this is probably the tip of the iceberg. We're probably going to continue to see digital migrations happening throughout this year as people start to wake up and start to ask serious questions about the power and the authority that is given to platforms and services. Just because you're free doesn't mean that you have carte blanche to everything. So with that, I want to invite you to like, subscribe, share. If there's anything in this that you want to give additional information on, definitely feel free to add that in the comment section below. I am going to add this article as well as a link to the Electronic Frontier Foundation. They do quite a bit of work around digital privacy and the rights of digital privacy. So I definitely want you to check them out, support them if you can as well. And again, we'll see you next week. Thank you so much for tuning in. We'll see you next time. Take care. Bye.